Have you ever woken up exhausted, even after a full night's sleep, and wondered if it's really burnout or something deeper than just being lazy? What if your body has been whispering for help, but you've been too busy chasing your dreams to hear it? This is the story of Jane, a young lady who stopped ignoring the signals from her body and sought help before it was too late. Jane just landed her dream job at a bank, the one she prayed for. But every morning that she steps into her workplace, her body feels heavier than her ambition, like it's fighting a battle she doesn't yet understand. She promised herself she would be a top performer. But lately, she's been tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. It's 9 a.m., and she already feels like it's 9 p.m. By 9:30 a.m., just as her first customer of the day approaches, she begins to feel a dull, throbbing ache across her forehead. The customer seems friendly, but has an impatient energy about him. Under the harsh fluorescent lights of the bank, Jane is smiling at the customer, but her mind feels wrapped in fog. He wants to deposit a large amount of money, one that could amount to Jane's full year's salary. She tries to stay alert, but her mind drifts, numbers blur, and her fingers hesitate for a second too long. And with one small click, the money lands in the wrong account. Her stomach drops before the screen even finishes loading. She apologizes quickly, voice steady but hands trembling, promising to fix it, but the customer's anger rises faster than her explanation. His voice gets louder, sharper, threatening to sue the bank and have her fired before storming out. And Jane just stands there, shaken, wondering how the girl who has always been careful and dependable suddenly can't seem to trust her own mind. When the noise settles and the doors stop swinging, Jane finally sits down, but her thoughts don't. Her head is pounding now, a dull, persistent ache right behind her eyes, the kind that makes it hard to think straight, the kind she's been pretending not to notice for weeks. She presses her fingers to her temple, exhales slowly, and reaches into the small drawer beneath her desk. She stares at the little paper cup filled with ice. She doesn't even remember when it became a habit. At first, it was just something to crunch on during long shifts. Now, she refills it almost without thinking. She lifts a cube to her mouth and bites down. The sharp crack echoes louder than it should. The cold stings her teeth, but it also soothes something she can't explain. She doesn't know why she craves it. She just knows she does. She crushes down the cubes, and her chest tightens as the morning replays in her mind. The customer's voice, the threats, the look of disappointment. This job wasn't luck. She studied for it, prayed for it, worked too hard to be here. Too many late nights, too many sacrifices. "I can't be the careless new girl," she whispers to herself. "I'm not careless." But lately, she's not sure what's happening. The unexplained fatigue and poor concentration. It almost feels like she's in her own world, fighting through water while others are walking on solid ground. She stares at her reflection in the dark computer screen for a moment, and she looks just as exhausted as she feels. This doesn't feel like her. She wipes her face, straightens her blazer, and tells herself she just needs coffee. Just caffeine. Just 5 more hours. But the moment she stands up, the world tilts in a full, sickening spin. The floor feels like it's shifting beneath her shoes. The fluorescent lights blur into streaks. Her stomach flips. She grabs the edge of her desk, but even that feels unstable, like she's holding on to something floating. Her heart starts racing. She shuts her eyes, hoping it will stop, but the dizziness lingers heavy. She is completely disoriented, like she stepped off a spinning ride that won't end. For a second, she's not the ambitious new hire trying to prove herself. She's just a girl trying not to fall. And that's when it hits her. This isn't stress. This isn't just being tired. Healthy people don't feel like the room is collapsing around them at 11 a.m. Still gripping the desk, with uneven breath slowly regaining its rhythm, Jane finally hears what her body has been screaming for weeks. Something is wrong. She needs help. Breath shaky. "I think I need to talk to someone," Jane whispers. The clinic waiting room is too quiet for Jane's racing thoughts. Her hands are clasped tightly in her lap, her mind replaying the chaos of the previous day. She had taken the day off and gone to see a doctor who had referred her for a nutrition consultation. That's how she ends up here, waiting to meet Marie. Marie is a registered clinical nutritionist and dietitian, the kind who sits with you, listens, and connects the dots between what your body is feeling and what it's missing. The power in her work is that it helps people understand their health and uses diet as a practical, evidence-based path toward healing, strength, and disease prevention. And today, Jane is hoping that, maybe for the first time, someone can finally explain what her body has been trying to say. Marie's office feels different from the rest of the clinic. It has softer lighting and a calm presence. Jane sits across from her, fingers intertwined, shoulders slightly tense. Marie welcomes her warmly and asks the simplest question. "How do you feel?" Jane lets out a small, nervous laugh. "Honestly, I don't even know where to start." "Start anywhere," Marie responds in a reassuring tone. Jane relaxes. She doesn't even know where to begin, but once she starts, it all pours out. She explains to Marie the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, the dizziness when she stands, the way her heart sometimes races for no reason, feeling cold in rooms where everyone else is comfortable, the headaches, the poor concentration at work, even the craving to chew ice. Marie doesn't look surprised. She leans forward gently and tells her something that shifts the mood instantly. "Your body is talking. We just need to understand what it's saying." Jane instantly relaxes and feels fully heard. Marie begins her assessment, calm and thorough. She asks about Jane's medical history, her menstrual cycle. Jane admits her periods have always been heavy. Marie asks about her meals, what a typical day looks like. Jane hesitates. She skips breakfast, snacks through lunch, coffee keeps her going. Red meat is rare, leafy greens, not often. Marie nods thoughtfully. Then she reviews the lab results the doctor ordered earlier that week. Hemoglobin, low. Ferritin, low. The numbers confirm what the symptoms have been whispering. Marie gently performs a brief physical check. Pale inner eyelids, brittle nails, overall fatigue and posture. The picture becomes clear. This isn't burnout. It isn't laziness. It isn't incompetence. It's iron deficiency anemia. Marie reviews her tablet for a moment before turning it slightly so Jane can see. She explains it simply. Your hemoglobin and ferritin are low. This explains the fatigue, dizziness, even the ice cravings. You have iron deficiency anemia. Jane's eyes fill. So it's not just in my head? She asks with a shaky voice. Not at all, Marie responds calmly. Iron is like your body's oxygen taxi. It picks up oxygen in your lungs and drops it off at every cell. When there aren't enough taxis, traffic slows down. That's why everything feels harder. Your body has been working overtime with very little fuel. And the good news? It's very treatable. Relief washes over Jane's face. But Marie doesn't stop at the diagnosis. She moves into the plan, clear and practical. First, it would be helpful to know the difference between heme iron from animal sources like lean red meat, chicken, and fish, and non-heme iron from beans, lentils, spinach, fortified cereals. Both matter, but absorption is key. We will pair plant-based iron with vitamin C to improve absorption. For example, spinach with oranges, beans with tomatoes, and lentils with bell peppers. What blocks iron absorption is taking tea and coffee with meals or excess calcium at the same time as iron. We'll boost your iron with lean red meat, chicken, fish, beans, spinach, and fortified cereals. We'll add one iron supplement daily with water, not milk. And remember, rest is part of healing. Finally, Marie provides a simple, personalized meal structure and written plan. The plan is balanced, with realistic adjustments that fit Jane's work schedule. Marie outlines the next steps. They'll monitor symptoms, repeat blood work in a few weeks to track hemoglobin and ferritin levels, adjust the plan if needed, follow up regularly. Jane walks out of that office feeling like a different person, enlightened, determined to take control of her own health. That night, Jane lies in bed studying the meal plan. She's still tired, and her body still feels like it's catching up, but the fear is gone. And as she turns off the light, there's something new settling in beside the fatigue. Hope. 1 month later, the bank feels different. Or maybe it's Jane who does. She stands behind the counter, posture straight, eyes bright, and movements sharp and steady. She has a radiance that doesn't need caffeine to survive the morning. The same customer walks in. He slows down when he sees her, pauses. Recognition flickers across his face. He approaches carefully. "You again?" he says, half joking, half testing. Jane doesn't flinch. She smiles calmly. "I promise," she says lightly. "No glitches today. I've upgraded my system." He raises an eyebrow at that, but she's already working. Fingers moving confidently across the keyboard, verifying account numbers twice, explaining each step as she goes. Her mind is clear. The numbers are crisp. The transaction flows smoothly from start to finish. Within minutes, she turns the screen slightly toward him. All set. He scans the receipt, checks the confirmation, and nods slowly. "This is perfect," he says, surprised. Then he looks at her more closely. "You seem different. Whatever you did, keep doing it." Jane smiles pleasantly. She feels like she's been handed a second chance, and she's not about to fumble again. Jane's story is an illustration of how powerful it is when we pay attention to our bodies and seek help in time. Iron deficiency anemia is common and treatable. If you experience any of the symptoms displayed here, consult a healthcare professional. Do not ignore the symptoms. We hope this was a great learning experience. If you enjoyed this, remember to subscribe to our channel. See you on the next episode.